Assalamu alaikum ji. Welcome back to an episode of Kahe, Kazi. My guest today was Saman Maudood. Saman Maudood is the Media Network Manager for Redbull. We get to speaking about the philosophy and the ethos of Redbull and about how to govern life and
a bit about pole fitness too.
a little bit about pole fitness and also about fitness generally. We spoke a lot about physical pursuits.
But that's something that I love.
Your pole fitness? Yeah. Spoke about pole fitness. We also spoke about all sorts of sports and what it takes to be a Red Bull sponsored athlete, what it takes to make it to the Red Bull website, to the Red Bull page, and about all sorts of projects that have been undertaken by Red Bull.
And just generally about how we, my phenomena of living life, that black and white.
And the black and white and the grey.
Black and white theory. Yeah.
And the black and white theory. Someone's black and white and grey theory. That's all the way to the end. Ab enjoy karna aap log. So yeah. All right. Assalamu alaikum. 3, 2, 1. Saman Maudood. How you doing, Saman?
Sorry, what?
Right. How are you doing?
Great. Amazing.
Okay, so we have been talking a little bit before the podcast. Listeners don't ever like hearing that. क्योंकि उनको ये चाहिए होता है कि आप आके कुर्सी पे बैठो and we go right then. So let's introduce you a little bit before we go on. Where do you work currently?
I work for Redbull in Pakistan as a media network manager.
Media
network manager.
Media network manager. Okay. So let's get you a little closer to the mic. आप जो है बहुत आराम से बात कर रही हैं अचानक से.
Okay. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yes. Okay. And okay, so that's where you work. आपने बोला you've studied from Karachi University.
Yes.
What did you study?
Mass communication.
Okay. And then your first job was also in digital media, more or less?
Yeah, more or less. Digital media, to be specific.
Yeah. And then how did you end up working for Red Bull? Tell me that story.
So, how I got into digital media, it's actually, I think a very simple story. It was just that मुझे अपने कुछ hours पूरे करने थे and like university में एक certain number of hours होते हैं और because मैंने बहुत छुट्टियाँ की थी, right? So the only way to cover was to have the बहुत like offs लिए थे and like my teacher was like that's the only way you can do. And I remember I was just like walking through the hallway और वहाँ पे मैंने ये लगा हुआ देखा कि they need like an intern to do all these like छोटा मोटा सा. I was like cool, like easy, just by the house, like 5 minutes, hardly 10 minutes away, and just like easy हो जाएगा. And yeah,
Karachi University के करीब रहती हैं?
No. So I live in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah. So and the place, that internship place was like hardly 10 minutes away, not even 10.
Okay.
Right. So it was like easy. Okay. Yeah. Like university से आओ थोड़ी देर के लिए 3-4 घंटे के लिए वहाँ चले जाओ, and it was a paid internship. Like,
okay, wonderful. Yeah,
it was a paid internship.
Not a thing, huh?
Yeah, apparently that's not a thing.
Yeah.
It was a paid internship. I was like, cool, man. Like 4-5 घंटे के like अच्छे पैसे मिल रहे हैं. पैसे was also decent and all. I was like, cool. Then I think उनका एक department बीच में खुला जिसमें उन्होंने celebrities के social media of sorts handle करना start किया, social management. So I remember the first one that I handled was Adnan Siddiqui, and when I first went to him and I first met him, I was in awe, and I still meet him. And he carries that persona, that aura, that I'm still in awe.
With all due respect to you and to Adnan Siddiqui, he's an actor, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what? What am I missing here?
I just don't know. I'm not well versed.
Okay. No, so and he's loved in our family, like just generally. And when my family found out, they were like, "Oh, we want to know where you work. हम कब मिल सकते हैं?" Everyone was on my case. So yeah, I mean, like that was my first job. Then I moved to Mullen-Lowe. It's a advertising agency. Mullen-Lowe is US based. उसका पाकिस्तान में जो कराची में ऑफिस है मैं वहाँ होती थी. मैंने इनका लाहौर के ऑफिस के भी कुछ clients वगैरह देखे. Spent 6 years. Amazing experience, I would say, because I got exposed to Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram at a time when they weren't in Pakistan.
What year is this? When you're working at Mullen-Lowe?
Mullen-Lowe, I think before 2018.
Before 2018.
Yeah. And mid 2018, I left and I joined Redbull.
Okay. You joined Redbull mid 2018. Why? Why did you join Redbull?
I think, 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 I think It's because I consumed Red Bull during my university years, so I genuinely believe in the brand. And the two brands that I remember at that time that I felt that I wanted to work with, one was Surf Excel. And because I believe the philosophy of Surf Excel, dirt is good. There's a very strong, solid philosophy behind it. And I think if any brand, probably in Lure, has worked most on it, at least during when I was working, I felt it was Surf Excel. They actually believed in it. The brand managers and the brand team and everyone, as even the agency believes in it. Like the counterparts who are working in different parts of the world. So those people, and apart from that, there was another brand which was Red Bull, which is, I remember even at that time, their philosophy of giving wings to people and their ideas were, it's who they are and it's what they do. And you become part of Red Bull. You can't become part of this brand, this team, if you don't really believe in giving wings to people and their ideas around you. So I believe it was a very natural fit. I remember I came in as a programming manager, and when I updated it on my LinkedIn and different social platforms, everyone was asking, "Hey, you were content. How did you get into programming, that too in Red Bull?" I used to tell them like, "Hey, it's programming of content coming up with strategy." And then like about 6 months in, they basically told me, "Hey, you know what? You've been doing the work of media network manager. It's only fair that we give you that." So I think in that sense, I was lucky to have amazing team. I was lucky to be exposed to a few of the best minds in the entire globe. Like, the people that I report to in region, the people I report to in HQ, they're pretty kick-ass in what they do. So I believe I was lucky, and I am, and I still feel the same day. Every day that I go to work, I feel that, I'm a part of something bigger. And so, yeah.
Okay, that's powerful. And also, I think that you can't say enough good things about a team that collectively works towards whatever they work towards. No? I think it's also both of the things that you've said, dark to achhe hote hain. Also, the ethos is that, you must pursue what it is that you pursue, irrespective of how much, difficulty there is. That's beautiful. And then giving people wings is obviously wonderful. What is it that you enjoy most about it? Just coming up with ideas to interact with people. Because
coming up with ideas to interact, but the feeling you get, the fulfilling feeling when you see that you did something for someone and the person genuinely smiles and genuinely thanks you and genuinely feels satisfied. Just recently, in the past couple of weeks, we did Red Bull BC1, which is a breaking one-on-one breakdancing championship. When we got done with the event, almost every big breaker who was there, he came and he just looked at me and he basically told me that how empowered that person is feeling as a breaker, how thankful they are, how grateful they are that now finally, after a decade-long struggle to bring breaking to Pakistan, they've actually made it happen. That's what it means for them. And that is something that I would personally strive for, making difference in somebody's life, either through probably one video content or, by talking to someone or in any shape or form.
That's beautiful. Now, here's the problem with that, right? Red Bull is also a profit maximization concern, right? So where you have, it's a beautiful vision that you would help everyone like this, right? How do you balance, or your team, all of you, how does the organization balance? Because I've seen Red Bull do multiples of these, no? And it's never really clear how they're making money, right? Are you just selling the drinks? Like, how many drinks could you sell at an event like this? Not enough to not even enough to just break even the cost of holding an event like this. Paperwings pe main aaya tha, breakdancing wale event pe main aaya tha. At least these two events, wonderfully done. But that doesn't happen for free. That doesn't happen for cheap even, right? So how do you balance the need to give everyone wings, right? And profit maximization? How does that work?
At the end of the day, if you start loving the brand, you become a consumer.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my job is to build that, evoke and build that love and eventually sustain it.
Oh, that's powerful. Yes. Very.
So I don't need to shove my brand in your face. No, drink it because it gives you this.
Yeah.
We would never talk about it. Even if I'm not with Red Bull, I would never talk about it.
Yeah.
It is, your brand should be powerful enough to make that difference, because if there is, let's think it from that perspective, if you're able to create that difference in your life, you would consume it.
Sure.
You would feel the need to consume it because it has given you something that no one else can, would probably have given you.
Sure. That's well said. Yeah. So my other concern then would be how. So, there's no nice way of saying this, right? In an erratic an environment as Pakistan is, and as erratic an environment as Karachi is, how do you continuously, because this is an international company, Red Bull is, how do you continuously tell them everything's all right, and how do you continue to throw all these events? Because आपके events में लोग बाहर से आते हैं, and all those things. How does that happen?
It happens. So Red Bull, if there's one thing, Red Bull is amazing in many things, but one thing that they're really amazing is planning. Mm-hmm. So there's plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and the plan goes on. Yeah. Right, it goes on. So what you saw at Red Bull BC1 was not a 1 month's job. It was a 2-year-long journey that technically not ended but started off at Red Bull BC1. Okay. We wanted to bring the most premium breaking dance competition. We found out there's a big breaking community. We met them, we helped them out in different ways, and first empowered them, right? Empowered them enough for them to understand that, hey, we're not just playing around. Mm-hmm. We're not just throwing off an ad ki yaar ye lo kaam karo, paise liye, that's it, done. No. Mm-hmm. It is something, what we strive for is building a pipeline of local talent. Because we know for a fact that aaj se probably in the next Olympics or the next to next Olympics, breaking is going to be a discipline. Sure. Who do you think will eventually go? Because technically there is no breaking organization or a committee or a council here, right? Globally nahi hai na. But aap dekhe na, next Olympics mein breaking is going to be a thing. So if we can help this community, and we did initially, we didn't just brought the project in and just gave them like, oh, that's what you do, that's what this is it, go for it, and XYZ. Our eventual aim is to keep bringing it back, keep exposing the local community. And yes, it comes at a cost, but that cost is then eventually converted because, like I said, I don't need to shove my brand in your face to sell it. I will try to sell you in such a way that you don't feel forced.
Sure, that's the only way, right? That's the only real way to sustain a relationship. I think that's a powerful answer. I really like it. I really do. Because यहाँ पे, now if you compare that with the local, हमारा जो होता है ज़हनियत जो होती है local सेठ किया जो भी, वो ये होती है कि भाई कोई भी चीज़ मैं करूँ मुझे immediate profit चाहिए. Like मुझे क्या फ़ायदा होगा, and that's something you hear often. A lot of this stuff is delayed gratification, if nothing else, right?
It's a long game.
Yeah. In your experience, because now you also deal with a lot of people, I'm sure, from other companies and stuff. Have local companies, other companies in Pakistan, have they started to also play the long game, or are they still set on?
No, I think there has been shift. There's a paradigm shift.
Okay.
In how things are working now. I see a lot of brands taking some relatively bold steps towards change because, and that's great. But I still feel that we are probably a little behind just generally with the world. I mean, like, look at it. Log bolte hain ke, how does Netflix earn? Like, us pe to koi ad nahi aate because they've changed the entire phenomena. Like, I remember, I did not even know. I love Ryan And I remember I logged onto Netflix and I started watching this 6 Underground. And in the first 5 minutes, there's all Red Bull.
Yeah.
And you can't just not watch it, because that is the character building of that character. Of Ryan's character is built through that particular scene, and Red Bull is like in your face because Ryan was flying a Red Bull Air Force plane. This Red Bull ka logo laga hua, and that is what set the entire context of like, whoa. Yeah. This is how the brand endorsements should be done.
Sure.
Right. So it's a long game. Yeah. आज से 2 साल 2.5 साल पहले, I think digital marketers would know this better. 2-3 साल पहले I remember हमारी एक global monthly workshop types hoti hai, and we they update us what's happening, and like media workshop hui, and they're like, I think you guys, we very strongly believe or suggest that you guys should work on long-term videos. And we're like, why? Is there a reason behind it? They're like, yes, because about 6 months ago YouTube changed the algo, और जो shorter 5 minutes से कम की videos थी, हमें उस पर hits ही नहीं मिल रहे थे, हमें long term videos पे मिल रहे थे वो वाले hits. एकदम से hits change हो गए because search, algo, पूरा सब change हो गया. So I think globally we are very global is probably a decade, if not more, ahead. And we're catching up. Yeah. The good thing is some of the local brands are catching up, but it is up to the industry leaders to make way for everyone else to kind of follow. Like there are certain beverage players out there, there are certain FMCGs generally, players out there who can actually turn this entire wave into something more positive, something more, I think, good for the
Absolutely. उसमें एक मसला और ये भी आ जाता है ना. I said this before also. Lots of companies don't think like Red Bull, na? Lots of companies don't think about corporate social responsibility or social responsibility generally, because एक और चीज़ ये भी है, people, content creators or people who do the work, right? Break dancers हो गए, कोई भी हो गया. आप ये सोचो, they'll go where the money is. Unfortunately, very few people only follow their passions because पेट पालना होता है, because खाना होता है ना. So most people will go where the money is. If you don't tell them, if you don't put money in a long-term sustaining profession or pursuit, so what ends up happening is you also in turn handicap them, the content creators. Now, अगर content creator ये सोच रहा है कि just slapstick quick comedy sketches पे काम चल जाएगा, चलता रहेगा, और आप उस पे पैसे डाले जा रहे हो, एक तरीके से if you want to think about it like that, आपकी भी responsibility है कि आप उसको बताओ कि यार ये 6 महीने के बाद this will be outdated, फिर आप क्या करोगे? You can't keep doing this. You have to evolve as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know if it's fair to put that much on organizations, because उनका काम पैसे कमाना है.
Well, not only that. Okay. No, I think ये तो बड़ा easy हो कि यार मेरा can है, ये पी लो, and इससे तुम्हें ये 4 फायदे हो जाएंगे, and I just keep talking about it. No, I don't think. I think let's give credit where it's due, and let's just let's just ask the difficult question. What is it that we're doing? Because when you were talking about the corporate social responsibility, I feel that corporate's responsibility, the CSR campaign should not be like CSR campaigns.
Absolutely not.
Your vision should be of such nature that it is generally helping the industry, the people grow. So here's a question. Why are tech startups growing exponentially?
Because they put their money where their mouth is.
Because they're helping people grow. They're solving real issues. Literally just yesterday I received a message in one of our WhatsApp group. Somebody from HQ is going to a sleep fitness company. Good. There's a tech startup. There's a sleep fitness tech startup, and that's the first time I heard it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Local mein? Pakistan
No. Global, our HQ counterpart. Okay. But sleep fitness tech startup, and maybe a lot of people know, forgive my ignorance, but I was like, my God. So tech startups have, and these startups, they're solving real issues.
Sure.
And that is why. So I don't think it's not fair to say it is at the end of the day our responsibility कि हम intelligent content लोगों को feed करेंगे तो intelligent feedbacks आएंगे.
Yeah.
Like, Drive to Survive, why is it one of the most popular series? Drive to Survive is a Formula 1 series जिसमें Redbull racing को दिखाया है और different other Redbull AlphaTauri or different racing teams को दिखाया है and all. It's still one of the most popular series. People who don't watch Formula
really
1.
Well made. It's really well made.
Like exactly, right?
Yeah.
So when you feed intelligent content, people would then you start getting intelligent feedback. Like you can't just like Google stuff up you can't just make stuff up and you can't just expect कि नहीं audience to idiot है जो दे दोगे वो हो जाएगा. It's not one way communication anymore. I'm sorry. Like as the leaders of the industry, and by the way, leaders of the industry are not just brand. They are advertising agencies, they're media, they're content creators, all of them. When you start feeding good content, you are basically when you start feeding good content, instant feedbacks नहीं आते.
नहीं ज़ाहिर है.
In the long run आते हैं. But then and that is something that you make. I mean, like that's something that you should. I don't think we should shy away from that.
No, absolutely not, and that's a conscious choice, right? But again, I will push back इतना सा कि आप अभी देखो ना YouTube पे क्या हो रहा है. YouTube पे आप let's just take YouTube as an example, as a जो भी example है, बहुत सारे most content creators make content for YouTube because it pays back and all those things.
And that's only fair.
No, of course.
Yeah.
What's trending right now on YouTube? I bet you money it's not something thought-provoking. I bet you it's something...
And why is that? Okay, why is that?
Well, because instant gratification, sensationalism, and we don't want to use our brain cells. हमारा जो दिमाग है हमें नहीं use करना.
I have a different perspective to it.
What's your perspective?
आपकी जो 9 बजे की न्यूज़ होती है, right?
Yeah.
उसमें आपने क्या topics pick किए हुए होते हैं? And who's picking those topics up?
The media companies, the news...
Like the news editor जो बैठा हुआ होता है.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's, at the end of the day, जो आपने ये GRPs की and sensationalism की आपने जो बात की, it has been fed into the minds, into our minds कि ये चीज़ है. एक time पे Star Plus was like the thing. Die down हो गया ना.
Yeah.
Because for probably drama industry got back on its feet, अच्छे बनाने लगी जो भी XYZ.
But we didn't replace it with anything good though ना. अभी भी सास बहू and सास बहू के साथ.
And that's what our problem is. That because we think that the consumer is interested in this. No.
Oh, okay.
We're not. And that is the problem you start. And that's what I'm saying. You start feeding intelligent content, intelligent people will start consuming that content and eventually that happens. Instant gratification should not be your formula for success. And that is our formula for success.
Yep.
What will get us instant reach?
Yeah.
कैसे मिलेगी?
Reach, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll again, I'll probably go back to my own brand in which I work on, but I think that's a very solid example. PSL पे जो closing ceremony हुई थी, उस पे जो drift हुई थी, right? We received, I don't know, in 24 to 48 hours, we received 1 million organic views.
Wow.
Organic, we use 1 million and all of them were positive except for a few people who were just saying, oh, you should not have done this and that, which was not the case because no brand will ever jump into anything which is not approved from all the authorities.
Of course.
Anyways, so we all we received was like good reviews and people were like, okay, yaar. And we started receiving like messages like आपको ये भी करना चाहिए, next time इसको बुलाओ, ये करो, ऐसे कर सकते हैं, ये वो, like all of that. So हम भी तो वही कर सकते थे, but
कर सकते थे.
And we received good positive responses.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on what you're feeding. Like it's time that we start owning. Basically, you know what I feel? Instead of just blaming कि यार ये तो होता ही ऐसा है, हम करते ही ऐसे हैं, own it up. So it's time to own it up. Otherwise, we will not be able to move fast.
I appreciate what you're saying about the organization taking responsibility. And yes, यहाँ पे the organization is powerful. They should take responsibility. And I get that, right? Because and a million views, a million organic views in 48 hours is no small feat for anyone. That's huge, right? Exactly. That's ridiculous, right? Mashallah se. Having said that, there are again clips from dramas that do that in half the amount of time, right? So ab aap ye bol rahe ho, so what you're essentially saying is Because views translate to profit for a lot of organizations, right? So what you're saying is, organizations, just so we can fix our societal discourse, organizations should take a hit on their profits.
No.
No?
You don't need to take a hit on your profit to feed some intelligent content.
Okay.
You have amazing writers and stories here. All you need to do is base your idea on an insight rather than just कि 4 लोगों ने कमरे में बैठ के सोचा ये होता है based on their limited knowledge and you go for it. No.
Okay. Market research is what you're saying.
Yeah, go out and ask difficult questions. What will make it happen? What happens, like, calling Abdul Faghali, who's one of the best drifters in the world and the best one in the GCC and the Miwa region, which is Middle East, not West Africa region. He's the best. It was not just a joke. Like, keep bringing those people here. If they are one of the best and if people consume their content, I believe, at the end of the day, I would go back to what I said. You don't have to take hit on your idea or on your profit to, feed something good. It is, at the end of the day, what is your product? What issue is it solving? And is your idea insightful enough to evoke any kind of emotion? Like, जैसे Money Heist था, La Casa de Papel, people watched it more in its original language than in English.
Which is interesting, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. Why? Because emotions have no language. If you base your idea on some sort of insight or something that kind of relates, doesn't have to be insightful, could be relatable, right? Sure. Could be relatable, could be, there are a lot of Pakistani campaigns, if you just talk about advertising, which were very powerful.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah, well done.
So वो भी यहीं से ही निकली हैं. Like, वो भी उन्हीं लोगों ने निकाली जो और बाकी काम करते हैं, but नॉर्मल हमारी तरह के आम लोग हैं. कोई crazy extraordinary minds नहीं है. ठीक है. It's just about giving people that platform, giving people, I remember, back in 2019, more, I used to, whenever I used to get ready, I used to wake up in the morning, and while I was getting ready, I used to put up, these YouTube channel, jahan pe na, there are certain people come up and they talk and they tell stories. And it's like 10-15 minutes and it's beautiful. It's at random people. You wouldn't know anything of them, and they would just tell this beautiful story, and I used to love it. Like 15-20 minute की वो clips होती थी जिसमें अपनी stories बता रहे होते थे. 5-10 minute की clips होती थी, and it was beautiful.
What's the channel's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember the channel's name. I can find it out and I can let you know.
Okay, later.
But like, it was a storytelling session of sorts जिसमें आके लोग बैठे हुए हैं, लोग आके stories बता रहे हैं, and I loved it, and I realized that it's such a beautiful thing. There's so many stories out there. It is just about, like, I this improv comedy.
Okay.
It's
fantastic. Yeah.
It's beyond my imagination. How do you improv at a stage in front of so many people?
Have you checked out the local scene?
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And people who are working hard. And I do want to get to that, by the way. I do want to get to how I saw in Redbull ka bhi breakdancing event ke, the local talent, the local people, they were shown what all is possible.
Yeah.
Right, because it's one thing to see it in a video on YouTube somewhere, but it's another thing to feel that person's presence, like to touch, to just shake their hands and be like, yaar, ye banda mere se itna behtar hai. So because we also have this tendency कि यार big fish small pond वाला जो है ना कि यार हम तो जीते हैं, आप जीते हो because कोई और यहाँ पे कर नहीं रहा है.
Exactly.
Because there's people. So and similarly with comedy, these comedians, they internalize the work ethic of people who have done well at comedy internationally. Dave Chappelle, so on and so forth. Those are the people these people are comparing themselves to, right? So they have to be that good. They have to at least, or fail, right? But try to at least be that good. But ek aur cheez, I will just come back to what I was saying earlier. Because if you want the organization to take responsibility, that's fine. But the awam, when it shifts, there will be that initial blow to the views, right? And we need to be okay with that as well. Initially, certain things that you do, which are good, you believe that they're good, and they have proven to be good in the international markets. Podcast, excellent example, right? I was told throughout, and people way more famous than me have also experienced this. Podcasts don't really generally do as well here as they do abroad. Abroad, if you do a podcast and you have a certain amount of views, you're set, financially. Here, not the case, right? But that doesn't mean podcasts are wrong.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean as a genre or as a medium that there's a problem with it. That just means it'll take time. But you're saying generally there's hope. It'll be all right.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I'm not an optimist.
Okay. Why? I don't know why you're not. How are you going to give people wings then?
I'm generally, I feel,
देखो
but
check कर लो शायद गिर जाओ देख लेना.
नहीं, like I don't feel that I am, but like I said, you need to believe in what you're doing.
Sure.
If you don't believe in it, and that's the funny part, that I'm not an optimist, but I believe in this. I believe generally in this idea. Like, it's not just about Redbull giving wings to people and their ideas. It's something very satisfying. If you look at it, the other way of seeing it would be you're giving meaning to somebody's life. You're giving, purpose to somebody. You're helping somebody achieve their ultimate potential and beyond.
That's powerful.
I'd say about like 10, 11 years ago, an athlete came to Redbull and said that I want to jump from space. Redbull made it happen.
Yeah.
It is Stratos, and it was Redbull's idea. Just a few days ago, there was and there's a Redbull Air Force team in US. And while the two planes were flying, the two aerial athletes swap.
Oh
plane.
My God, dude!
There was an athlete that came to Pakistan, a Polish athlete, Andres Bargel, summited all the way to K2 without oxygen, and it's on Google. Like, you can literally just Google Andres Bargel K2, and he skied down. It's a world record.
Of course he did.
About probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Two odd years ago, the K2 was summited in peak winters, right? And the one who did that was Nirmal Purja, again a Redbull athlete.
Yeah.
So I think it's like I said, that's what the brand believes in, and that's what as a person I believe in.
Yeah.
And if you start believing in it, you will actually, yes, there will be ups and downs. ऐसा नहीं होता कि हर वक्त एक ही जैसा वो रहे. Like, life is like this.
Yeah.
So हर चीज ऊपर भी होगी, नीचे भी होगी. There will be good times, bad times, amazing times, worst times, all of it. But I think at the end of the day, it depends. If every night you ask yourself, or every few days you ask yourself, is it worth it? And if you ask me, is it worth it? I would say yes.
Yeah.
Because at some given point of time, we've made difference. What we have done has made difference in somebody's life. And that is, I remember like Paperwings, jab ho raha tha na, to like we came up with this idea. So हमने क्या किया कि 2019 में दो लड़के गए थे ऑस्ट्रिया, राइट? वो पाकिस्तान में जीते थे, ऑस्ट्रिया गए थे. हमने उन्हें बुलाया अपने ऑफिस. हमने कहा, हमने एक कैमरा लगाया. हमने कहा, यार अपनी एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बताओ. And it is their words, and it is literally live. You can Google it. उन्होंने बोला कि यार ये हमारी ज़िंदगी का सबसे बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस था. And just before that, Redbull Basement happened, which is basically a startup idea kind of a project in which you pitch an idea. If it gets selected, you actually get funded.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna ask for interesting. I was gonna ask exactly that question. I suppose I'll augment the question a little bit then. How do you decide what content creators or athletes to work with in the local scene? Because so the international vision is this, right?
Yeah.
Just make it happen. Bigger, better, crazier. It's all good as long as you can back up your claims, right?
Yeah.
If someone's saying I'm going to jump from space, and then they can't, that's a problem, right? But if they can do it, Red Bull's going to make it happen, inshallah. ठीक है. In the local scene, like, what's your experience like? Because there's a lot of people who talk a lot of, but they talk a big game, but
so As in, yeah, and a lot of people do, like Arslan Ash.
Yeah, sure.
You know, the unanimous, unified Evo champion. That was the last time Evo championship happened. And until it happens again, he will remain the unified Evo champion.
Yeah.
He was the ESPN athlete of the year, and it was a unanimous vote through and through. So I think, and his story is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I am genuinely sad that people and companies and brands that can actually make such beautiful stories are not, reaping the benefits and fruits of this particular industry. We're trying our best in our limited capacity, but coming back to your question, I think there's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Right. But for some reason or the other, how we help them is, like I said, we help them, we support them in whatever way we can, and we continuously scout for talent. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम नहीं देख रहे होते हैं, हम continuously scout कर रहे होते हैं, and उसमें हम different, we help in different ways.
Okay.
So in our case, for instance, if an athlete, a gamer comes to us and say कि यार मुझे यहाँ भेज दो, या मुझे ये टूर्नामेंट हो रहा है, मुझे ये करने दो, इन रिटर्न में मैं आपकी कैन पी लूँगा. No. Sorry.
No.
That's not a story. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's not it. आपका कैन पी लूँगा is not a story. Arslan Ash, when we were about to sign him as our athlete and all, you know what he said? Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting thing he said. He's like, मैंने इतने tournaments attend किए हैं, Saman, but I मतलब जब कोई अरीना में कोई Redbull athlete enter होता है ना, Redbull celebrates their athlete. Mm-hmm. And I used to feel कि यार ये बंदा तो इतना नहीं है, या ये तो ऐसी चीज़, मैं भी तो हो सकता हूँ and all. And now, 2 years down the lane, because I've been with him from that bit to where he is now.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and I feel so proud of the fact that we were able to help him out, fulfill his goal, fulfill his ultimate potential, and we'll keep on doing it, right? So I think how we help them is in different ways. For instance, bringing in one of the most basic fundamental examples would be bringing in properties or projects like Redbull BC1.
Firing हो रही है पर?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Allah khair kare. हाँ, sorry.
So Redbull. So
Karachi.
I know, right? Big deal.
Just karo, kaam karo.
So I think bringing in properties like Redbull breaking championship to Pakistan, Redbull. I think that's
ये construction है, right? And ये इन लोगों ने वादा किया हुआ है मुझसे कि काजी जब तक आप पॉडकास्ट करते रहेंगे यहाँ पे, हमने आपकी पॉडकास्ट खराब करनी है लाजमी.
Oh no.
हाँ, तो please properties BC1.
So जैसे for instance, this Redbull Neymar Juniors 5. It is, if you have what it takes, you can actually get to play against Neymar in his own hometown, in his own institute.
That's ridiculous, man.
I mean, if you have what it takes, I said, आप national chapter जीतो, आप Brazil जाते हो, Brazil में entire world, पूरी दुनिया से लोग आए हुए होते हैं, teams आई हुई होती हैं, हम उनको हरा के पहुँचो, you become the world champion, you get to play against Neymar and his friends, in his own institute. And not only that, you get to, you Redbull Paperwings, the two players, who the three people who won, one in long distance, one in longest air time, and another one in aerobatics. Now they're going to go to Austria, Hangar 7. Mm-hmm. And if they get to win, they get to have Redbull experience. Just last year, Redbull Campus Clutch happened. It was a student gaming Valorant championship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Pakistan chapter में बड़े underdogs थी वो team, वो जीती. उसका एक regional final हुआ. And I remember when I was sitting and I was smiling and I was talking to, one of these journalists and something, and I was like, tell me a game in which India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, all of these countries are cheering for Pakistan as their own team.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's super powerful.
So so this is as brands that's what we do, that we keep giving them those platforms in the form of projects, in the form of content that we produce, in the form of support through anything. Like, just for instance, we've been associated and in touch with a couple of local drifters. Now there are certain competitions and drifting competitions happening at a regional level, and we are able to help them give exposure to that by either sending them, by either facilitating in some shape or form. So as Red Bull, as a brand, our job is to give them platform.
I really would hope, Saman, I would hope that more brands understand, as children or as young people, we have this question, we're like, who's the hero, right? Who's the hero? Who's the protagonist? Who's the hero? Hero kaun hai? Main hu, aap ho, kaun hero hai? I think I would hope that, hearing you speak or, just watching how Red Bull does this, more brands would realize that you cannot get into that competition with the content creator. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you're Red Bull and I am a drifter, Red Bull cannot start asking the drifter, hero main hu, telling the drifter, hero main hu. Nahin. No. Hero drifter hi hai.
Yeah.
You are like you've said yourself, you are the facilitator, you are the platform, you are the fairy godmother, you're the good godfather, you're all these people except the protagonist. You're not the protagonist.
Yeah.
The protagonist is the protagonist, right?
Yeah.
And I think so many content creators are they're upset by this, and so many brands make this mistake. Brand की कहानी कहाँ आ रही है? Boss, brand की कहानी है ही नहीं. Content creator की कहानी है ना? जितना बड़ा है छोटा है जो भी, you picked them. You picked, as a brand, picked them. You picked an Irfan Junejo. You picked a Muru. You picked a Hamza Ibrahim.
If I may.
Yeah, of course.
If I may.
Yeah.
I think the content creators need to learn to say either no or come up with intelligent content. That's the answer. What I would see it.
How do they get paid? They won't get paid.
Right,
na?
I know.
Yeah.
That is difficult.
Yeah.
But that's not impossible.
Not impossible, no, but difficult.
Everything, it's a choice.
Okay.
You are choosing to be who you are. Now it depends on your own goal, on your own self. How do you make it happen? Like, I would most probably give example of Patangi out of all the content creators.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Brilliant. Mashallah se. Yeah.
Like, why are they successful? Why are they, why are they working? Like, kyun? Like, kya? Matlab, isliye because whatever that they do, they put their heart in it.
Yeah.
They give their best. Mm-hmm. Because they're so, in no way I'm saying that baki log aisa nahi karta. I'm sure karte honge, but I'm just for the sake of example.
Sure, of course.
I think that's what that's why they're successful. That's why people look up to them. That's why I'm pretty sure unke engagement rates of their content pieces were much crazier than others.
They're ridiculous. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Why? Because people genuinely follow them.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying that baki logon ko nahi karte, but you take Patangir as an example, you actually get to know that there are a lot of things that you can, I completely agree कि यहाँ पे पुश किया जाता है, शव किया जाता है, राइट? कि यार हमारा ब्रांड दिखाओ, बट वो वाली चीज़ है ना कि जब do you remember Facebook पे आज से like कुछ साल पहले एक 3 second rule आया था. 3 second rule आया था जिसमें in the first 3 seconds you have to show your brand. And
I don't remember.
Okay, so like a couple of years ago, there was this rule that came out of Facebook, the 3 second rule. In the first 3 seconds, you have to showcase the brand.
Okay.
Right? And brands were going crazy. कि हम कैसे दिखाएं, कोई animation बना रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. And we were like, oh shit, how this is going to happen, X, Y, Z. I remember a couple of years down the lane, I came to Red Bull. And then Red Bull told me that this is 3 second rule. And I was like, what the actual, whoa. Because the 3 second rule, you have to showcase not the brand, but just the positioning of the brand. How Red Bull does is that they are Red Bull athletes. Most of the Red Bull videos start with Red Bull athletes wearing Red Bull logo and doing something crazy.
Yeah.
That sets the context of the video and what brand stands for.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. So again, at the end of the day, it is on you how you come up with that sort of content. देखिए, at the end of the day, content creation हो या advertising हो या कोई film production, these are commercial art.
Sure.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Like you get paid to think, you get paid to be an artist, right? तो that will always come with limitations. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि limits नहीं होंगी. Now, as a creator, as an influencer, somebody who has, who can influence others to do something, their decisions and all, it becomes your responsibility of how you portray that message. Why? Like, I know a blogger who said no to this one campaign, which was in which she did not agree with the idea, and she was bold enough to say no.
Sure.
And I like nothing that I worked on, I found out through a friend, and then and the funny thing is that I found out through a friend that she said no, and then I met that blogger in a very different setting a few days later, and she told me, and obviously I didn't like cross,
no, of course.
but
yeah.
Then I realized, then I respected, like, and then I respect, my respect for her came from here to here, because she did not do something that she didn't believe in.
समन देखो, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि आप बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हो, right? आपकी जो है ना, so your oratory is based entirely around the existential responsibility of the content creator, which is beautiful, right? That's the essential ethos of empowerment. I get that, right? But and ऐसे बहुत सारे, obviously you and I could share stories where there's lots of stories where content creators have said no. They're like, I don't believe in this, I'm not going to do it. The people have refused to go on stage with alleged harassers, so on and so forth. ये सब चीजें हुई हैं ना, that's huge, right? Because you're essentially kicking guaranteed paychecks, and paychecks that मतलब लाखों के, not करोड़ों के, but लाखों के, and that's powerful. But what I'm again saying is, at some point, wouldn't it just be better if brands were smarter about this stuff? Like
very
essentially
true.
Is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes.
Because Red Bull gets it done, right? And Red Bull gets a better response, and Red Bull also makes more sales, right? So जो सारी चीजें आपको चाहिए, which is a better response, more sales and all those things, वो सब भी तो हो रहा है ना? By fostering better content.
And how I see it is, and that's the good thing, that a lot of brands and creators and influencers have started to realize it. ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं. And you scroll through your feed, you realize that a lot of people are now moving away from that that model of
face,
in your face. So
yeah.
A lot of people are moving away, and in fact, not a lot of. I think everyone has probably moved away. How I would put it like that. Yeah. It's a very fast-moving industry. If you don't learn, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Go
like
away.
No views, no money, no nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to keep up with the trends and all. So I think a lot of people, and that's something that I very honestly respect. I have some serious respect for all these creators, because constantly being on your toes and just like getting
evolving constantly,
requires a lot of effort.
Sure.
So I think what we see is probably one video of 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. The amount of work and the hard work and the and the sweat and the tears that might have gone into it's not fair to say that they're not doing their job. I think
no, they are.
So I believe the change is, like I said, I think as a society, probably as a nation, we are in the phase of transformation, and when there's transformation or transition from one probably mindset or one phase to another, you would always see some really amazing stories, some really amazing things that are happening, and obviously really like baseline things कि यार YouTube खोल के देखो क्या trend कर रहा है. That's what your community, that's essentially what your society is.
Assembly भी dissolve हो गई वैसे माशाल्लाह से. ये सब भी हो रहा है.
So yeah, ये भी हो रहा है.
ये भी हो रहा है.
But then again, there are a lot of other, like I said, universe has a very funny way of balancing things out. अगर कोई बहुत ही shitty content maybe YouTube पे trend कर रहा होगा ना, तो in some shape or form कोई बहुत amazing चीज़ किसी की ना trend कर रही होगी in certain groups and certain circles that you would feel कि यार amazing, like okay. So I think responsibility lies on the individual as well, that you need to surround yourself, like वो कहते हैं ना कि you are what you eat, like
stuff
वो
like
चीज़
this,
है ना. So basically you are what you consume.
100%.
Food, the people you meet, the information that you consume, your atmosphere, your environment. So sir, if you're not reading good books, decent books, if you're not looking at, probably something decent and something more meaningful, your life will be stagnant.
Yeah, you're living in bad faith, essentially.
Yeah,
You're
it
living in
is.
bad faith.
So I think the creators, most of them are trying to do something good, something like come up with something cool and different content, and which I'm very happy to see that everyone is like doing something good, but it also depends on kind of us, like कि अगर आपको कोई चीज़ अच्छी लगे, कोई चीज़ अच्छी दिखे, तो speak up about it.
Yeah,
like
yes,
talk about it. If you like any podcast, if you like someone from your local industry, like I remember 2019, I was sitting in a regional meeting with my counterparts from a lot of regions, right? And everyone is like, okay, apart from work, what do you do and all of it? I told them I was like listening to, I love recently started listening to podcast and stand-up comedy, and they're like, oh, and they started taking names of ye wo, and I was like, no, dude, I'm talking about my own comedians, my own, and they were like, oh, and they found out about a lot of people, about a lot of local, comedians and groups and podcasts, whoever I listen to and all, and they were genuinely surprised, and I was so happy to actually tell them that I do listen to them.
Zahir hai.
But if I'm in such setting, I would want to say, okay, hey, you know what? How about you listen to this person?
That's a conscious choice, right? That's a conscious choice, and
So
not
why
a lot of
not?
us make it. Not a lot of us make it. A lot of us, I think it's just, I don't know, I suppose it's cooler to say कि यार मैं जो है ना international कोई podcast या कुछ सुनता हूँ. I think it's everything for you to at least show your support in whatever way you can. In whatever way you can. That was a break because I had to get a Coke Zero. You're sure you don't want a Coke Zero? I can also order a Red Bull.
No, it's okay.
It's fine. You get enough. So you were, Abhi, during the break, we were speaking about this. You do feel कि जो younger generation है, rather than coveting experiences, they move towards money.
They do actually.
Yeah.
And which is,
it's fine, but also it's a problem.
It's a problem. Yes, I don't really blame them because obviously you have to mind your own expenses. You have to fund your own lifestyle to a certain extent, and for that you need to have that, that amount in your hand to kind of spend. And ठीक है, दुनिया है ऐसी चलती है, अब क्या करें, इन्फ्लेशन है, बच्चे को तो उसको नहीं वो इतना पता, तो जो कर सकता है वो करेगा and all. But I still feel that there's a hope.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have seen some really amazing these young kids, boys and girls, who have a lot in them, a lot of potential in them, and all they need is probably the right direction.
Sure. So how do you figure out which influencers, content creators you want to work with? Is there like a list? Because you're all consuming content, right? But I'm sure it's a little more sophisticated than that. यार ये इसकी मुझे अच्छी लगी इसकी वीडियो, इसको बुला लो. ऐसा तो नहीं होता.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. देखें, हमारे केस में how we pick is it's funny because we don't just pick 10,000 followers हैं, ये इस कैटेगरी में चला जाएगा, इसके कितने followers हैं, ये इस कैटेगरी में चला जाएगा. No, ऐसा नहीं होता. हमारे यहाँ probably I think एक बंदा जिसके 2,000 followers हैं, right, talking sense can actually become our influencer, and we are able to, if that person comes in and says कि मुझे ये पैसा, तो it's funny because a lot of people come to me, and I'll give you an example. A lot of people come to me कि यार ये हमारा idea है, ये हम event करें, इसको sponsor कर दो. I stop them and ask them, Redbull never sponsors, let's talk. Because Redbull तो अपना लोगो नहीं लगाता. अब बताओ, because सबसे बड़ा आपके पास सेलिंग पॉइंट क्या होता है? अगर मैं कोई इवेंट बना रही होंगी, आप एक ब्रांड होगे, मैं बोलूँगी कि जी सर ये मेरा प्लैटिनम पैकेज है, जिसमें आपका लोगो यहाँ आर्टिस्ट के पीछे यहाँ लगेगा, और जी आप बोलेंगे ओ ब्रिलियंट, मेरा काम हो गया, ब्रिलियंट. That's the easy way to go about it.
But Redbull doesn't do that.
No, Redbull says I don't put my logo up anywhere except for my own copyrighted ideas. Let's talk. And that becomes a difficult pain point for everyone कि यार अब क्या करें? Now, what do we give you?
What's
that
the
is
value?
Equivalent to, that bit. And that's when we tell them that, hey, you know what? We always partner up with people. Like what we would do is, instead of you giving you like ये पैसा ये check है 2 million का ये ले लो और कर दो ये काम. No, we would work like a partner with you in solving your issues. There are organizations who have come to us, asked for the money, realized that, and we said them no. And when we asked them that, instead of you getting the money from us, tell us the issues, the problems that you're facing, the gaps, and let us help you resolve it. And that's what we did for them. And we made them friends for life.
Yeah.
Like, Redbull make term hai, FORB, Friends of Redbull.
Friends
and
of Redbull.
They are the FRVs. All those people are the FRVs because we, instead of just handing them over, we asked like, tell us the problem. Let us work with you. Because there have been, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but there's an organization that, we previously used to work with. और जब उनका कोई event होता था ना, हमारी पूरी team उतरी हुई.
Do you want to name them?
Salt Arts.
Oh, yeah. So they're wonderful. Yeah, of
हमारी
course.
पूरी टीम उतरी हुई होती थी उनके इवेंट में because we always wanted to make sure that the experience as a brand, as a partner that we provide is very meaningful to that organization.
Sahi hai.
And everyone in the company values them even till now.
So I don't know. So Friends of Red Bull is very good. एक और होना चाहिए Addicts of Red Bull जिसमें मैं सारे फेरस दूंगा जी. I think that's fantastic, man. I really do. I think I believe in the vision, right? But at the same time, that's the most difficult thing you can do. आपने अभी बोला
actually it is very difficult.
You could do to someone ना कि because they don't really understand. And I don't know why, but they don't really understand the value in their own work. They're like, यार मैं ना अपने माथे पे Red Bull का ठप्पा लगा दूंगा. They'll do that for you, no problem, right? But they won't be like कि यार, they won't actually sit down and believe कि यार ये जो मेरी वीडियो है, ये जो मेरा फोटो है, it's worth putting up on Red Bull Pakistan क्या Red Bull International. They won't do that. Right? And
but you know what? A lot of people have come to us and it's like, and they were like, you know what? हमारा content कैसे global channels पे up होगा? And like global channel पे कैसे होगा? हमारा content आपके channel पे कैसे होगा? And it's a very strict guideline. And just to answer your question previously, that how do we select? Our selection criteria is, if not the most, it's one of the most difficult ones, if I most complicated ones, because हम numbers पे नहीं देखते.
Yeah.
Right? We look at the personality.
So that'd be easy, right? Yeah.
We look at the personality. We look at what kind of content that person puts up. The consumption pattern jo hota hai. And most importantly, if there is a love for the brand, if there is love for, like, the person has consumed Red Bull's content or consumed Red Bull at any given point of time, then it becomes a no-brainer. Because I have met, I don't want to name those content creators and all, but because I think it's unfair to the rest. But I've met content creators, and I'm talking about like the really good ones, big ones, I would say. Not the good ones, but rather the big ones.
Yeah.
And they have said that when we switched our formula from let's just say to just being an influencer to a creator, we saw one of the videos, we stumbled upon one of the videos of Red Bull, and we figured out that, hey, you know what, this is also a way to come up with creative content and all. So I think that's what we do. We follow people. We continuously scout athletes. We when we say athletes, traditional athletes, like cricketers and footballers and XYZ, and gamers as well. We are constantly on the lookout, and you wouldn't know, but someone in the Red Bull must be following every other athlete, every other artist, every other person out there, and we help them in whatever way we can.
Again, criteria though, right? You said it's one of the most complicated ones, right? And you said a certain kind of personality. What kind of personality? Like, if we were really to break it down.
So, like a personality who's a non-conformist.
Okay.
Who is confident.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Who's self-ironic. Mm-hmm. Who knows what they're doing.
Sure.
Right? Doesn't shy away from. Who's not a negative person. Like negativity नहीं होनी चाहिए. Non-conformist हो, self-ironic हो, status quo वाला, you can, give it to them, and that's fine, right? But negativity नहीं होनी चाहिए कि यार वो वाली चीज़ नहीं होनी चाहिए. I don't think that would work for us.
You don't like a pessimist.
We're like, as much as I'm saying that I'm not an optimist, but there's a personality. Like
you could be a pragmatist,
see.
sure.
Yeah,
you don't have to be. You don't have to be a optimist. And there's not a polarity. आप either optimist हैं या आप nihilist हैं. ऐसा कुछ होता है. ठीक है, okay. Those are good guidelines that if people listening who would like to work with Red Bull, they can work with. Okay, so non-conformist but a positive person, someone who wants to contribute to the society.
In some shape or form. I think surprisingly, if you actually look at it, everyone is doing something. It is what you're bringing to the table. If you keep on bringing, let's just say, some weird, strange stuff and people are enjoying it, that's also fine, but that's also not us. But nothing stops us. For instance, if that person comes in and says, you know what, I want to work with Red Bull because I have this idea and it doesn't matter कि वो पीछे क्या कर रहा है फिर.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not like that, as brand or as we are very stringent, नहीं बस यही है और इसके अलावा कोई नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. It's just that, it's just about, like I said, every conversation has started from either a coffee or over a Red Bull or at an event where people just randomly showed up and were like, okay, if it works well for us, why not? And that's how we have helped them out. Like, we have worked with, आप content creators की बात कर रहे हैं ना, मैं marathon runners की ना, ये triathletes की and duathletes की बात कर रही हूँ. These people, we featured them on our redbull.com. And some of them were approached by the bigger, brands in different countries when they traveled.
That's beautiful.
Right? Because they knew that, hey, you know what, if you're working with Red Bull, which means that,
there's a legitimacy, of course.
Right?
Of course.
And then that kind of helped them build some sort of, a relationship with those brands and all. And very honestly, we were proud of the fact, and we still are proud of the fact to be associated with such individuals. Yeah, they're not our athletes and all, but we value them as our own.
Of course.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. There's no fixed criteria कि हाँ ये होगा और इस तरह का बंदा होगा या इस तरह का होगा या इस SEC से या इस category से belong करेगा. No, anyone.
Or numbers, none of that.
No, nothing. Like जो 2,000 followers का बंदा sometimes हम इतनी amazing चीज़ दे देता है. Like I'll give you an example. Red Bull Campus Cricket is a global campus cricketing tournament. Global. It's a global. Wow. So basically what happens is कि within Pakistan, different universities participate, and उनमें से एक university जीतती है. इसी तरह से Pakistan, India, all the big cricket playing nations, they play, right? And then वो सब एक जगह, एक country में, Dubai, England, South Africa, Sri Lanka, anywhere in countries में से कहीं वो जमा होते हैं और वो खेलते हैं.
Indoor cricket? What is it?
No. It's a proper T20 match.
That's ridiculous,
T20
dude.
tournament, technically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And उसमें से जो teams निकलती हैं, and ये every other year होता है, right? If not every year. But like COVID की वजह से बीच में थोड़ा gap आ गया and all, वरना every year होता था. But और उसमें at the end of the day यही होता है कि people get to, experience the same experience which any international player would. And उसमें भी हमने 2019 में हुआ, हमारा कैंपस क्रिकेट हुआ दुबई में, उसका नेशनल फाइनल हुआ. पाकिस्तान से एक टीम जो जीत के गई, दे वर सपोजिटली अंडरडॉग्स इन द वर्ल्ड फाइनल, राइट? एंड हमने क्या किया कि हमने एक इस्लामाबाद बेस्ड कंटेंट क्रिएटर को लिया और उससे बोला कि यार वुड यू लाइक टू मेक, हमारी उससे बात हो रही थी, मैं पता चला उसको व्लॉग्यूमेंट्री बनानी है. We facilitated that person by calling him from Islamabad to Karachi for national finals and then sending him to Dubai, taking care of the entire cost and everything. Whatever he asked, like, achha mujhe ye chahiye, ye all of it. He came back and after a few days, he submitted us the story, which is till date, I believe, one of the best stories coming out of campus cricket. And it showed the raw cricketer that, and uski आधी video na पश्तो में है. बिकॉज वो बंदों जिन लड़कों ने, जिन कोचेस ने बैठ के बात की, उन्होंने उस लैंग्वेज में बात की है.
Do you want to name the content creator?
Yeah, Abu Zar Mir. He's from Islamabad.
Fantastic.
And amazing guy to work with, I would say. And really enjoy working with him. And his story, and I whenever I meet him, Kazi, I always tell him, okay, hey, you know what? I still remember the story that you did, and it's still one of the best stories coming out of your content, your channel, and I really enjoy it. So उसका भी क्या था, 10,000 followers थे YouTube पे, right? कोई इतनी crazy number of views भी नहीं मिले, but that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine because जिन लोगों ने देखा और जो लोग आगे देखेंगे उनको आइडिया होगा कि यहाँ पे टैलेंट पाइपलाइन बहुत है, maybe not the right platforms, and as a brand that's what we try to do as media network. That's what I try to do, come up with stories. I still remember back in 2020 हम कोई इवेंट नहीं कर पा रहे थे, सेकंड स्पेल, फर्स्ट स्पेल एंड हुई, सेकंड स्पेल आने से पहले एक बीच में एक टाइम था.
How was that? Because you do so many events as a company. How was...
We shifted our strategy to online. We had enough content pipeline to fill our entire 2020. So that was the backup plan which was already in place.
Okay.
Right? हम चीज़ें bursts में डाल रहे थे, and when we found out कि इस तरह की चीज़ हो रही है, we had multiple meetings with our global team and we activated our plan to not put everything out there. I still remember हमने स्ट्रिंग्स का एक गाना निकाला था 2020 के मिड में, 2018 के एंड में साउंड क्लैश हुआ था, उसके बाद हमने वो गाना रिलीज़ किया था. I still remember I went to Lahore post like a month or 2 months later post releasing that song, and I traveled across Pakistan, and wherever I was going everyone was looking at me and they're like, you're from Redbull, you guys launched this, bloody you guys nailed it, ye wo, while everyone was thinking you guys took the and I was so happy because I think that's what I think working with the global team which has a global voice, global mindset, and I would say a forward thinking mindset, that works well with us. But I remember that happened, and during that 2020 जब फर्स्ट स्पेल ख़त्म हुई और सेकंड स्पेल स्टार्ट होने से पहले, आपने याद होगा आपको बीच में एक वो आया था, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर में वो आया था. उस बीच में हमने रेडबुल हाफ कोर्ट विच इज़ 5-a-side बास्केटबॉल टूर्नामेंट, राइट, वो बास्केटबॉल टूर्नामेंट है, हमने वो एक्टिवेट किया था. एंड very honestly, I knew nothing of basketball. I've probably have thrown few hoops here and there, किसी के दोस्त के या किसी family में किसी के घर जाकर, cousins के, but never really knew. And so I went to a lot of cities, and in every city, what I used to do, I used to while my team was covering content and all, मैं सबको बोल कर, I used to just walk around and talk to people.
Yeah.
And I realized the amount of stories we have. They are actually basketball crazy fans and people out there. I still remember I was in Lahore and we got done with our Lahore setup, a Lahore qualifier. And while I was just getting done with the things, there was this from the women's team. There was this girl who won, and she was probably one of the players, or probably the captain. And the captain of the boys team, the men's team, won. They both came to me and they were both friends, and they both were they wanted to discuss something, and I told them that, guys, here's my email address, here's my number, just drop me a message or drop me an email and we can continue this conversation there. And they were like, no, we would like to meet you and we would like to take you out for dinner and talk about it. And I remember meeting them, and then I remember meeting their friends and just exploring the basketball community of Pakistan. I think it was beautiful.
Sure.
And so it's this is what we do. This is how we look at it, or do things in the world of Redbull, is that we constantly look for those stories.
You look for stories
that makes sense. जैसे मैं आपको कैंपस क्लच का बताई थी कि उस जर्नलिस्ट को कि tell me a game in which India rooted for Pakistan and not just for the sake of it. Mm-hmm. When Pakistan was playing against in Spain, and the team who won in Pakistan and जिसने जो region को represent करी थी, went all the way to Spain to represent the region, not the Pakistan itself. And it was and I remember जो हमारा जो gaming manager at that time बोलता था कि यार आपको सारी stories मेरे पास ही दिखती हैं, and I used to tell them that you don't understand the power of this story. Mm-hmm. Tell me, cricket is the most hyped game in this country, and tell me at any stage in life that India rooted for Pakistan. Not at that big of a scale, at that big of a tournament, with that, like Pakistan से ज़्यादा supporters ना India से आ रहे थे, India से ज़्यादा support कर रहे थे, and Pakistan couldn't make it, but there was no negative, you know, वो, and that is something that this is how we help, this is how we support, whether it's a creator, whether it's an athlete, whether it's an artist. Like with artists, we did Redbull Presents, so Faisal Beg, the electronic DJ.
Okay.
Electronic producer, music producer, DJ.
Okay.
And Ahad Nyani, who's a...
I know who Ahad Nyani is. Okay,
right?
Thank God. Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, they had this idea where they fused EDM with drums.
Yeah.
Right. We had a conversation with them. We ended up coming up with bringing in a global project to Pakistan by the name of Redbull Presents. And that entire project was for these artists. Like, you know, coming, and there's a behind the scene video that we put up later on, and that video was like one short video. We were constantly asking them questions, and they didn't know the questions. They were just like saying it.
Yeah.
And when we heard it, when we were sitting there, and when we heard that video, like jo unhone bola, and then later on we saw that video, we as a brand, we felt so fulfilling that, you know, we helped somebody fulfill their dream, their purpose, and them helping them grow.
Again, beautiful stories, all of them, right? But if we were to now narrow down, so in terms of creation of art, you're looking for a story. It needs to be a narrative. It can't just be someone doing something, right? It needs to be...
It can be. Depends.
It can also be that.
Yeah,
just
it can be.
Really good voice, really good vocals or something like that.
It depends. There are Redbull, you know, music properties who are just about, you know, good vocals, good lyrics, good, I don't know, good hip hop, good rap and all.
Yeah, could just be that.
Yeah.
What are the parameters for video/photo content creation to get on the page? Like, are there parameters? Like, does it have to be... So, for instance, Red Bull has a lot to do with action. That's fair, right? There's not a lot of people sitting down reading books. There's not a lot of that. Yeah. It's just not, right? So, what are the parameters in those instances? Like, do they have to be a certain camera? Do they have to be a certain focal length? Matlab, color grade? Aisa koi scene to nahi hai?
देखिए, Red Bull has a global photographers database.
Yeah.
Right. And a couple of local photographers have now gotten onto it.
Yeah, they have.
And
mashallah.
we're trying to, you know, push that scale कि हम उसको और expand करें और यहाँ के पाकिस्तानियों को train करें कि वो action photography कर सकें and all. And but at the end of the day, the parameters are there. Like, you know, देखिए parameters तो एक वही है ना जो एक brand के होते हैं कि यार vulgarity ना हो, ये ना हो, वो ना हो and all of it. तो वो तो general होते हैं. हाँ, but to be on Red Bull's own platforms and channels, you have to stand out. You need to know what you're doing. And if you're passionate about what you're doing, you will end up getting featured.
Okay.
And yes, like for a photographer, we have this project by the name of Redbull Lilium. What happens is that उसकी एक certain theme होती है हर साल, adventure sports, or action sports, right? So उसमें होता क्या है कि दुनिया भर से photographers participate करते हैं और अगर आप जीत जाते हो, आपका exhibition होता है across Europe.
Okay.
Right? And then you become a star photographer in Red Bull's database, you know, you get more work and XYZ. So, हम अपने end पे parameters क्या होते हैं and हम किस तरह से उन्हें promote करते हैं, promotion through these bits. And the parameters would be like, you know, you just have to be good at what you're doing.
Just be good.
Yeah, like just be good.
Just be good.
Just be like when you're passionate about something, you will find your way in. Like, you would know what you're doing. And that's the beauty. Like, you know, कि अगर किसी को लगता है कि, you know, I'm good at what I do, and they come to me and they're like, you know, this is what my show reel is and this is what I do, and that is what we try to help them. Like, we try to fix people in what they are photographers who are motorsports photographers. Yep. There are photographers who are dance and breaking and music photographers. Sure. There are photographers who are just in music photographers. So हमारे पास database उससे बनी हुई है. But in one of and somebody who's a motorsports photographer comes up and says कि यार मुझे ये करना है and ये चीज़ है, we try our best to give them a platform. Like एकदम से कोई बड़ा platform types नहीं दे देंगे, right? Like BC1 या कोई ऐसी चीज़ दे देंगे. हमने जिस photographer से BC1 करवाया उससे हमने 2 साल पहले काम करना start किया था, and then we, I won't say groomed because already groomed tha, right?
Yeah.
But he learned.
Sure.
And he worked with us. He made sure that he was available. And when BC1, even when we were pitching it to our HQ, we knew who was going to be our photographer.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So it happened over time. And it doesn't mean कि हम कभी किसी और को consider नहीं करेंगे. So the parameter is something that if you're passionate about something, na, Redbull you will always find a way with Redbull in some shape or form.
Okay.
Right? Because probably delayed होगी. But होती ज़रूर है on average जो हमारे पास आता है, right? With that kind of passion, we try to help them as much as possible. Yeah, दुनिया में तो Red Bull surfing में भी है. हाँ, यहाँ पे भी कुछ सर्फर्स हैं जो निकल रहे हैं. अब कल को लोग ये बोलना शुरू करते हैं जी आप यहाँ पे तो सर्फिंग में कुछ नहीं करते. You don't understand how you have to make a base.
Yeah.
You have to have that sort of community to bring in a global property who's of that stature कि जहाँ से Red Bull breakers, branded breakers निकले हैं, उनके पास प्रॉपर्टी 10-10, 15-15, 20-20 सालों से एक्टिव हुई हुई है.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a Red Bull Batalla Los de Galos. It's a rapping competition. And उससे ना बड़े यूरोपियन एंड स्पेनिश एंड फ्रेंच वो रैपर्स निकले हैं, राइट? एंड दे आर अर्निंग ग्रेट, दे आर अर्निंग लाइक अमेजिंग, राइट? वो प्रॉपर्टीज उन मुल्कों में पिछले 15-20 सालों से एक्टिव हुई हुई हैं, राइट? एज अ ब्रांड वी हैव रिलेटिवली we just stepped in, and that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to pave way for the local we're building that local pipeline. Like, and it's not fair कि हम आज हमने एक में किया फिर हम वहाँ से शिफ्ट कर लें किसी दूसरे में कर लें.
Sorry. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Right? कि फिर तीसरे में कर लेना. We're trying to make sure that everyone gets their due importance or significance of the platform that they've been looking for. Like, you know, for Red Bull Campus Cricket, I'm forgetting this name of that Chirag Suri है या कोई एक Indian cricketer है who's a product of campus cricket.
Okay, wow. Wait, he's on the national team?
Yeah. Indian श्रीलंका की आधी टीम जो है वो जो अभी current cricket team है, they are all the product of campus cricket.
That's fantastic, dude.
That's
brilliant.
Exactly. So and you know, like a lot of जैसे अभी भी TI with the international, which is if not the most, probably one of the most craziest prize tournament, gaming tournament, right? उसमें consecutively 2 टीम जो 2 साल जीती थी वो Red Bull की टीम थी, and इस साल एक टीम जो they were expected to win, but funny enough that जो टीम जीती वो Red Bull की टीम है, underdogs की टीम है.
Yeah.
They are from Korea, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
that entitlement, Ekman, I would like to come back to this. Just because there's 3 people surfing here, Red Bull's expected, yaar aap jo hai na yahan pe surfing community nahi bana rahi hai. Does that entitlement bother you? Because even the breakdancing community, they've had to struggle for years before there was enough a brand can come in and be like, okay, let's do it because there's enough talent. नहीं तो आप जो 2 लोग या 3 लोग जो भी लाए थे abroad से, उनके साथ आप क्या घर पे बैठ के चाय पीते? Because there would be no one here, you know? So does that bother you, that entitlement?
Yeah, bother तो नहीं. We tried. It's I don't think it bothers, but I think it's more on the exposure side. नहीं, like वो वाला exposure नहीं है ना कि जिस तरह से अब breaking की example लें. We have amazing talent.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we have amazing talent, but they may never had that sort of platform or that sort of exposure, right? ठीक है, वो internet पे देख रहे हैं, वो YouTube पे videos देख रहे हैं, they are following their, the people, the mentors or people who they love. But like you said, when my mentor is sitting as somebody that I follow, sitting right in front of me and teaching me, that's a different, you go in a different zone. The passion, the way you see the world is different.
But I have to get good enough, no? I think that's where...
Good enough in a sense that at least, so they can, bringing in those properties or projects to Pakistan, it's not like कि 2 लोग होंगे हम ले आएंगे, and it's not just about that.
Of course.
हो सकता है आ जाए उस पे भी, but there are multiple things to look at it. Like multiple चीज़ें होती हैं कि यार community कैसी है, कितना strive कर रही है, हमारा you know like different aims होते हैं, different project you know वो होते हैं, but at the end of the day it depends mostly on not just के 2 लोग होंगे, हाँ मे बी आ जाए 2 लोगों पे भी, like ज़रूरी नहीं है, but yeah like you know जैसे बहुत सारे आप पाकिस्तान की बात हटा दें, बहुत सारे कंट्रीज से ऐसे एथलीट्स भी निकले हैं ठीक है जिन कंट्रीज़ में उन गेम्स को, उन स्पोर्ट्स को कोई सिग्निफिकेंस उस तरह से नहीं दी जाती जैसे डिफरेंट स्पोर्ट्स को दी जाती हैं. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि इस तरह के काफ़ी यू नो लाइक एथलीट्स निकले होंगे. राइट नाउ आई डोंट हैव एन एग्जांपल, बट दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई कैन मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली लाइक से इट फ्रॉम रिलेटिव सर्टेनिटी के बहुत सारे, और एक टाइम पे होता था राइट कि इतना लोगों को इतनी कुछ स्पोर्ट्स को इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं दी जाती थी. डजंट मीन कि वहाँ से एथलीट्स नहीं निकलते.
अभी भी नहीं दी जाती है.
लाइक यू नो सामुल हक, कितनी टेनिस को इम्पोर्टेंस दी जाती है.
Sure.
But he made it.
Yeah.
He did it. He did something for Pakistan, I think, and that you know counts as something, if not everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I think so, which means के और उससे लोग देख के इंस्पायर होते हैं. Like there are a couple of badminton athletes that we have been like I personally talk to and I've been like you know friends with or in contact with, and when I talk to them, they tell me that how they inspire these younger generation, and I think there's a hope there.
Of course there's a hope.
Yeah. I put myself out of the brand equation over here, and I would just talk as you know as a citizen of this country that you know हर चीज़ yes I know मुल्क की ज़िम्मेदारी होती है, authorities and all of that, and if we do individually, if you're sincere to whatever that we're doing, right, you will make a difference. There will, and a positive difference. And I think that's what
the problem
counts.
with that is Saman, you're just required, the sacrifice that you would have to make, right, it's just so much greater. जो आगे से लोग आते हैं ना, जो काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट देंगे आपको, मैं तो नहीं दे रहा हूँ, लेकिन जो लोग देंगे वो आपको वो दिल से कि यार but the sacrifice shouldn't be this much ना. मतलब अब बिजली नहीं है, अब पानी नहीं है, चलो वो भी ठीक है, बर्दाश्त करेंगे. अब जो आपकी असेंबली नहीं है, यार असेंबली कैसे नहीं है, अच्छा चलो असेंबली नहीं है, अब आपके जो है वो एक दूसरे को they're literally making death threats on Twitter and stuff. So there comes a point when, so obviously I adhere to what you're saying. Yes, you need to be hopeful and you need to strive towards a better future, and running away is not the answer. Right, all of this is fine, but जो लोग आगे से ये आर्ग्यूमेंट देते हैं ना, उनकी भी आर्ग्यूमेंट किसी हद तक तो साउंड है ना कि यार हाउ मच ऑफ अ सैक्रिफाइस है. जैसे these people, ये जो anarchy वाले boys जो हैं, Dashi and all, right?
Yeah.
Like they've been beaten up on the streets to do hip hop, to just dance in 2021, in 2022, you're getting beaten up. Like you know, there comes a point, or you know. So I just feel like there comes a point where you're like, yeah, there's some things that just like it just can't happen in this country, you know, like
I think
pole dancing, fitness, the stuff, you know, stuff like this, or it's just like यार अच्छा ठीक है, आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा ना, तो आपको क्यों लग रहा है कि आपको हर चीज़ समझ आनी चाहिए? आप just leave it alone. But that doesn't happen here, you know. Dancers are getting beaten up.
So that is, the sacrifices that you have to make are a lot.
Immense,
and it's not fair with the artist or the athlete or the person.
Yeah.
But that's a sad reality of where we are. I think, as like I said, you know, a few minutes ago, as a society, we are in the phase of transformation. हमने वो आई थिंक वो डायल अप इंटरनेट से 3G पे आए, 4G पे आए, 5G पर आए अब, राइट. हमने वो पूरा ट्रांसफॉर्म होता हुआ देखा है, राइट. हमसे पहले वाली जनरेशन, लाइक अम्मा अब्बा की जनरेशन ने भी बहुत सारे ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस देखे हैं. आई थिंक एज अ नेशन वी आर टू इम्पेशेंट, एंड वी आर स्टिल इन दैट जोन ऑफ 1947 से पहले वाले के जोन में. टू सर्टेन एक्सटेंट हमारे पास अभी आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स भी नहीं, अभी तो इफेक्ट्स ही चल रहे हैं.
हक और
अभी
सच
तो
and all
आफ्टर
those
इफेक्ट्स
things.
आने में
Yeah.
भी बहुत टाइम लगेगा.
Yeah.
So I think as a nation, we are in the stage of transformation. We are transforming. We are phasing out of one thing and moving into another era. And everything has happened very quickly. Like instantly, अगर आपके सामने कोई ऐसी चीज़ होती है ना, like how do you, everyone processes information in a very different way, right? Some people like, जैसे कुछ लोगों के सामने बड़ी फनी सी जो बात है, बट कोई बहुत ही स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन होगी ना, लोगों को हंसी आने लगती है.
Sure. Yeah.
आती है हंसी.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like a thing. I know a lot of people who do that, right? And उनको हंसी आने लगती है. कुछ लोग गुस्सा हो जाते हैं, कुछ लोग चुप हो जाते हैं. So everyone has a different way of processing that information. Right now, there's a lot of information coming our way. Like ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी हो रहा है. आपको एक and especially living in a country which has a radical mindset, a fundamentalist mindset, an extremist mindset कि ये है या ये नहीं है,
या ये गलत है.
मतलब है ही नहीं. आपने जजमेंट पास कर दी ना, जजमेंट है, ये नहीं है, आप काफिर हैं, that's it, you're done, like you're dead. Like वो वाला सीन है. हम में वो पेशेंस ही नहीं है एज अ सोसाइटी. एंड सोसाइटी का पेशेंस इंडिविजुअल पेशेंस से आता है.
Sure.
Right? You can't just keep blaming कि सोसाइटी ऐसी. यार आप जैसे अब क्या सिस्टम स्टार्ट हुआ है आज से, प्रॉब्ली पहले वाली जनरेशन में ये आपको हार्डली सुनने को मिलता होगा कि भाई डाइवरी सिस्टम, भाई ये तो देते हैं, ये तो एक है चीज़. बट वेरी रिसेंटली आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ दीज, लाइक मतलब मैंने पिछले कोई लिटरली आई थिंक सितंबर से जनवरी के बीच में काजी, आई थिंक आई अटेंडेड ऑलमोस्ट 8-9 weddings.
Okay.
All of them were like लड़के लड़कियाँ of 26, 27, 28, 29 at max, and not even one guy, and I'm talking about mostly boys, not even one person asked for dowry, and they were like, not even a single spoon will come from your house, from your parents. The only thing, and they made sure, like why? Because most of them are my cousins and my friends and all.
That's beautiful, man. That's alhamdulillah.
I was in awe of those of those men and those families, because now जब वो खरबूजे को देखकर खरबूजा रंग पकड़ता है ना, एक ने किया, उसने दूसरे ने किया, तीसरे ने किया, इसी तरह से बात हुई, राइट? ऐसी चीज़ हुई, एंड देन द एंटायर ग्रुप डिड दैट. थिंक अबाउट इट कि वो चीज़, वो फिनोमेना फैलता चला जाएगा, राइट? वो होता चला, तो जो इम्पैक्ट भी आता है ना, इम्पैक्ट भी मेरे एक इवेंट करने से शायद ना आए, कंसिस्टेंट एफर्ट से आता है. मैं एक चीज़ को, वो कहते हैं ना कि आदत भी जो है वो एक सर्टन 21 डेज का टाइम पीरियड होता है. उस वक्त आपकी हैबिट 21 डेज से आई थिंक 40 डेज के टाइम पीरियड में वो डेवलप होती है, एंड देन इवेंचुअली लाइक वो बनती है जाके. सो इट टेक्स अ वाइल फॉर यू टू द फर्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ प्रोसेसिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन इज एक्नॉलेजिंग दैट देयर इज अ चेंज हैपनिंग as a society, as Pakistan, not even a society, as just generally Pakistanis, we have not accepted कि यार एक 30 साल की लड़की जॉब कर सकती है, डजंट हैव टू बी अ मैरिड वुमन विद 4 kids and can't stay happy. You can. It is a reality. लड़कियाँ आजकल जिस तरह से अपनी फैमिलीज को सपोर्ट कर रही हैं, it's phenomenal to see such people, and they've been doing it forever. Yeah. वो पहले भी करती रही हैं, बट अब maybe people are vocal about it, and that's great, because now we need to know. अब वो चीज़ें निकल के सामने आ रही हैं, right? तो I think as a society we have not started acknowledging it.
Sure.
Because that's the first step. वो कहते हैं ना कि how do you solve a problem?
You acknowledge it first.
You acknowledge the problem you acknowledge that there's a problem out there. If you're short-tempered, the first thing is to acknowledge that, yes, I am short-tempered. And then you start working on your anger management. If you feel that you are, you're trying to do a workout, you're not good at it, the instant thing that you should not look at it, कि यार, shit, ये तो मुझसे होगा ही नहीं. Oh crap, I can't do this.
This thing is difficult or whatever.
Yeah, not my thing, ये वो. Right, the first step is to break it, like, there are different kind of workouts that I do. And very recently, like I think probably last week, we were in class and our trainer showed us कि ये करेंगे. And we were like three girls, and we just looked at each other and we started laughing.
ये
We're
तो
like,
नहीं हो रहा है.
"नहीं, ये है क्या? Like, what did you just do?"
Yeah. Is the pole thing?
The pole,
Okay.
yeah. So, like the first thing, like ऐसे ऊपर नीचे करके ये चीज़ हो जाएगी. We're like, what are you doing? What even? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not kidding. 25 minutes later, I was able to pull that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was surprised at myself. I was like, wow. Like, you know, I came out of that class feeling achieved, feeling accomplished.
Yeah.
Right? So the first step was, and we didn't, like, कोई 2-3 दफा उसने करके देखा, हमें समझ ही नहीं आया. Then what we did was we broke it down. She broke it down for us. Right? कि देखो पहला step, दूसरा step, तीसरा step, चौथा step, and then try to do this first step, then second, then third, then fourth. You know, like इस तरह से करके. And we broke the problem down. First, we acknowledged that we didn't understand it. Sorry, can you please do it again?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't understand it. Okay, what is it that you guys are not getting? We told her कि ये समझ में आ गया, ये part नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. And she's like, okay, let me break it down for you. So there was a conversation happened between us, right? And she broke it down, and we were able to, you know, catch the parts that we weren't able to do, practiced it, and were able to eventually do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it depends. Like, again, whatever that you're doing, it depends on how you first acknowledging that there is a problem. As a society, we have a problem of being judgmental. As a society, we have a problem of pointing fingers. As a society, we have a problem of victim blaming.
Yep. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have a problem of victim. As a society, I'm sorry, but, you know, you push women drivers. Like, you know, कि वो आपको दबाते हैं आकर. And, you know, this is the problem that you like. I'm not saying कि अच्छे लोग नहीं मिलते, बहुत अच्छे लोग भी होते हैं. There are really amazing people out there who, you know, just give you the way, or just like, you know, be patient. But
नहीं Saman, बिल्कुल होता है. वो ख़वातीन drivers, if you see a woman driving, there's a lot of people that will just, like, how is it possible? I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how to explain this to you, but there's people that will be inappropriate with their driving. If they see a woman driving, especially if she's driving, or God forbid if she's driving alone, they'll be inappropriate with how they drive. How they look at her, वो सब तो बहुत normal सी चीज़ है, वो तो होता है. That's inappropriateness, that happens. But the way they drive, they won't give her way. They'll try to push her to the side. It's just ridiculous. And I mean, I don't know why I feel so strongly about this. लेकिन बहरहाल.
Thank you for feeling strongly about this.
It's just like I don't understand. But, it's a lot, and it's dangerous. You know, because all of it is dangerous, but especially when you're driving.
I know, right? Tell me about it. I do it every day, day in, day out. And, you know, you know, like, I remember when I got my own car, and the very second day, we had to go somewhere in the family, and my dad was sitting right next to me, and my mom was sitting. It's a very bad idea to make two parents, both of them sit in your car in the first go, right? Not a good idea. So I would not recommend. Not recommended. But my dad was, I remember my dad telling me, ना उसके बाप की रोड है ना तुम्हारे बाप की रोड है, तुम चलाओ जैसे तुम्हें चलानी है. And that's okay. Just be confident, right? हर कोई तुमसे एक्सीडेंट करने की कोशिश करेगा. You will have to be careful, right? He taught me some of the most valuable life lessons, and let's just say that my dad is not a slow driver per se. Okay. To put it mildly. Okay. Right? He's not that. And him giving me that those life lessons, those telling me those, you know, and giving me those advices really helped me out, because I understand that for some reason women drivers tend to intimidate everyone around them. Like थोड़ा सा side में से करके निकाल लो तो they were like, oh लोग पीछे आएंगे, horns देंगे, and it's just weird. Like, you know, maybe हर एक के साथ नहीं होता. I'm not saying it's a general thing. I don't want to generalize it, very honestly.
But it is don't a problem,
don't want to that like pessimistic voice of sorts, but like I because I don't know. But yeah, और मेरे साथ हमेशा नहीं होता. I'll be honest. Like हमेशा नहीं होता. I've met people who have, like, I just remember it was just probably 2 weeks ago. I was in that Zamzama lane, and you know how Zamzama lanes are, like, super cramped.
Oh yeah.
Super cramped. मैं beach में पहुंची हूँ, and I was just finding a place to park. There were 2 cars right in front of me and 2 cars at the back, and I had to park my car in a very tight spot. There were 4 people who helped me out.
Oh wow.
I'm not good with parking. Okay, let's
Okay,
go.
yeah, whatever.
And all of them waited.
That's
I had
nice.
to wait for good 5 minutes for me to park. And so I won't say they're not good people out there. There are some people, like वो कहते हैं ना कि having faith in humanity restored or faith restored wali cheez hoti hai na. Like I said, balancing. Like universe is a very funny way of balancing it out. Maybe that's what it balanced me out on a multiple work. मुझे ऐसे भी लोग मिले कि जो फजूल में हॉर्न दे रहे हैं, फजूल में साइड कर रहे हैं, फजूल में लाइक जा रहे हैं एंड फजूल में लड़ रहे हैं, जानबूझ के आगे आ रहे हैं एंड जानबूझ के आगे खड़े हुए, knowing that I have this my way, I have to go like by law, by by the just
by law, that's funny.
by law, by by the virtue of just me going because I was the first one. No, but they would just try to like but then there are good people out there. So I think balance एक तो हो भी जाता है. Like I said, universe is a very funny way of balancing it out. What I don't ideally want for myself is not to be on the other side of the equation. कि जब balance हो रहा हो, so I want to be on the better side, on the good side. Somebody who can, like
benefit from the balancing.
Yeah,
as it
like
were.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I, want to
imagine that. Huh? Imagine not benefiting from the balance. That'd be scary.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Allah Rahm kare. Have we run out of things to talk about? I'm thinking now.
Sure.
As an individual, as a human being, right? How many of these activities do you take do you like personally? Because so you do pole fitness or aerial yoga. These are out there as well. In terms of a fitness regimen, you could just go for a run, right? You could do that.
Yeah.
But you don't. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
What are the sports that you're like, yaar, chalo indoors kar dete hai, but I personally don't get the hype? Is there a sport? Because अभी तक आपने बहुत मजेदार चीजें बात की है ना. आपने स्काई डाइविंग हो गया या ड्रिफ्टिंग हो गया. These are all fun.
There's indoor skydiving too.
Where?
Happens in a lot of countries.
इधर तो नहीं है ना.
हाँ, इधर नहीं है, but वैसे होती है.
मैं तो कभी स्काई डाइविंग की भी नहीं है.
हाँ, don't worry, मैंने भी नहीं की है, but मैं करूँगी.
कब करोगी आप?
Hopefully this year.
Where are you gonna go?
I think Dubai. Or I think Dubai.
I don't have money like that. For podcasts,
well, I
don't
think
do well.
Working for a brand like Redbull has its perks.
Yeah,
so,
alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay. Skydive, but again, skydiving is cool, right? Is there something that you're like, yeah, what's the point of this, right?
Yeah, like I don't know. I think every sport, it would be unfair to say this.
Golf.
I don't know, maybe, but like I think it would be unfair to say because जो बंदा करता है उसको पता होता है उसका passion क्या है.
Of course. I don't mean to offend anyone. Yeah.
So yeah, like I think for me, I don't want to name as such. हाँ, मुझे like I think probably I would enjoy golf more rather than table tennis. मुझे personally.
Oh, dude, table tennis is awesome. What are you talking about?
Like I'm
Excuse
not a
me.
big fan.
We need to stop right now. I'm sorry, this can't happen. What do you mean?
I just
table tennis is so
I can't
fast.
Get attracted to.
It's so awesome.
Like personally.
Okay.
Personally, एक तो I've always lost in it. Like I've always liked it. Like ठीक है ना, तो एक तो मेरा वो कभी वो what do you call it, कभी passion point बना ही नहीं, ठीक है. But like I think I don't know, like personally I would say like table tennis is something that I don't know, like personally
I don't think we can be friends now. Now we can't be friends. I'm sorry.
No.
But yeah, table tennis is awesome. It really is. But what's it called?
Sure.
I'm sure. What do you mean sure? Imagine using that same logic to like to apply that logic to like skydiving or something. Yeah, but like, Kazi, there's nothing wrong with skydiving. It's just that I fell once. Died. Allah Rahm kare. You can't. That logic doesn't apply to a lot of things. But skydiving. Okay, again. But yeah, what's the one thing that you're like, yaar, ye probably Redbull pe nahi aayegi. Redbull Pakistan pe nahi aayegi in terms of an activity. Because
contact sport नहीं आता, wrestling नहीं आती.
नहीं आती.
Contact sport है.
हाँ, because
contact
that's Red Bull की तरफ से parameter है कि ये नहीं हो सकता. But like, what about kite flying and stuff?
Maybe जैसे इंडिया में वो होते हैं ना they have this thing, this tradition, जिसमें लोग एक दूसरे के पास खड़े होते हैं, and they just like do that. It's a project there. So like
so kite flying could be something here.
Could be, but यहाँ पे तो ban है आधी ज़्यादा चीज़ें. Isn't it? Like it was banned at one given point of time.
यार वो that's because they were cut. वो मतलब दो चीज़ें हो रही थी. एक तो accidents हो रहे थे because वो पतंग उड़ाते गाड़ी के सामने आ जा रहे थे. Which again, that's
like I get it. Like that is something that we can definitely look into.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying no, but there, other communities, other things which are more fun.
Like
Redbull, can you make it?
Ooh.
Okay, so can you make it is something. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Think about it. You're a university student.
Okay.
Right? And you get a chance to travel across Europe.
Wow.
And with your friends, by
with
the way.
Friends.
With my friends.
Oh.
The only catch is that your trade is not through money, but through the cans of Red Bull.
I'll take those odds. I like
there
it.
You
yeah.
go.
I can absolutely make it.
Would you be more interested in that?
100% would.
There you go.
Yeah,
All you have to do is submit a 1-minute video, get selected, and show how fun, how cool you are. You get selected.
I would want to sit in the committee that reviews those videos. That'd be so much fun.
Like, showcase your personality.
Yeah.
Showcase your personality.
What's the craziest one you got? Is there something that comes to mind?
That not at the moment, but...
Some dude standing...
okay, I'll tell you what. Okay. There are people who have grabbed helicopter rides, just by trading the cans of Red Bull. There are people who have gotten presidential suites in the biggest, if not one of the biggest hotels in Europe, just by trading cans of Red Bull.
Yeah, I'd believe that. Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
So, or you but a crazy, think about it. So
but that's Red Bull, no? That's Red Bull as an entity, as a brand. That's what it is, no? It is quite crazy.
And that's and nothing stops us from bringing those sort of properties to Pakistan, those sort of projects to Pakistan. Like they say, Red Bull, can you make it? They say Red Bull basement. It's a startup, business. If you're a student, you're in a university, you have a startup idea, and if we can able to impress the global judges. And if you have good idea, an idea that is actually resolving an issue, right? You actually get to go to attend the Global Story Academy, and if you get to win, you are funded from Red Bull. You are and it has been happening for I think 2-3 सालों से हो रहा है. And the first Red Bull basement global winner has a Fortune 500 company as their first client.
Good हो गया. ठीक है, मुनासिब, very मुनासिब, ठीक है.
Very मुनासिब.
So then are we saying, we're at least saying this much, if people can take nothing else away from the podcast, we're at least saying this much. As a brand, as an entity, Red Bull has enough outreach where if you're doing something good, if you're pursuing excellence in some form, Red Bull will find you.
Yeah, I'm not making any promises because I don't want to.
Of course. But or they can find, because so there's obviously initiatives where Red Bull will find you. There's also ways that they could find Red Bull then, right?
Yeah.
Through the basement or whatever else.
All I keep telling people that, guys, keep a lookout on what we're doing, and whatever you feel you're interested in, be a part of it. Like Paperwings, mein koi age limit as such nahi thi. You could have been a part of it. Whoever came.
Yeah, it's really difficult. वैसे पता है ये जो paper plane flying वाला scene है ना. I
it's
tried
funny,
it once.
Right? Think about it. कि आप बचपन में planes हो करते थे. I remember हमारा जब internally activate हो रहा था, I had to Google how to make a paper plane.
So ये कोई ऐसी बात थोड़ी, I still don't know how to make a paper plane.
I know, right? It's just like, and I realized, oh my God, like how old am I? Like I just कब किया था और अब फिर दोबारा कर रहे हैं. We all had to Google. We're like, okay, जल्दी Google करो, सारी चीज़ करो. And there are tactics to keep paper plane more time, giving it more airtime, making it like long distance and aerobatics and all of it. And I realized, oh my God, there's a lot to do with, your mental strength, mental availability, and thinking and
Isn't that crazy though? Everything can be a specialization now. आप जो बोल रहे हो, एक ज़माने में
there's a world record holder of paper planes.
आप बोल रहे हो एक ज़माने में paper planes was mischievous. That's all it was. Mischief. That's all
Think
it was.
About it, yeah.
कि एक दूसरे के सर पे मारना है हमें. And now people get paid for this. I wonder what people can't get paid for in this world.
Yeah, that's a good question.
है ना? Practically everything. I mean, liars get paid. Politicians. Everyone gets paid. Like, who doesn't get paid?
Yeah, I mean, you can get paid for, if you're confident in what you're doing, you can get paid for anything.
Huh?
You lie with confidence. You cry with confidence.
You can cry with confidence. That's an actor.
You cry with confidence. You say something. You can be, and I think there's a beauty in that, right?
Sure.
Because
Sure.
that goes to show that how significant you are, that even one person, like I said, remember just before the podcast we were discussing that back in masters हमने एक कोर्स था हमारा जर्नलिज्म के ऊपर था, हमने वो लाइक 6-7 वीक्स 8 वीक्स उसको फुल पढ़ा, लाइक यू नो फुल उसमें पढ़ा, एंड देन हमारा टीचर आता है और हमारा टीचर आके बोलता है कि यू हैव दिस वन पेज, वन साइड ऑफ द पेज कुड बी लाइक अ क्वार्टर A4 छोटा सा स्टिकी नोट वट एवर, बट हैज़ टू बी वन साइड, राइट? वन साइड होगा, एंड और उसके बाद ही टर्न्स अराउंड एंड ऑन द बोर्ड ही ड्रॉज दिस डॉटेड लाइन एंड सेज कि कंसिडर योर सेल्फ अ डॉट, नाउ रिमूव डॉट फ्रॉम द इक्वेशन एंड टेल मी 3 scenarios. And at that given point of time took me like good 5 minutes just to even realize the fact that this is my A midterm. Like it's a 30-mark paper, and all I have to do is think.
He was teaching you dissent. He was teaching, that's beautiful, huh? That's powerful. He was teaching you dissent. And that's everything, I think, is when we confidence ki aapne baat ki, when we realize ki yaar, the world will not explode if we just do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I quit my job, मतलब मुझे ईमान से ये लग रहा था कि मैं जो है ना, I'll spontaneously combust, like अंदर से मैं I'll just explode from the inside. But then you know, you put one foot in front of the other, आप अल्लाह ताला में ईमान रखते हो, and you know, obviously don't make stupid decisions, obviously try to make money and all those things, try to be good, you know, and try to help people the best you can. But you know, muashra is built on conventions because muashra wants you to be safe. But you know, I don't think that's how you live life. You know, life isn't safe, you know. कि जैसे वो लोग होते हैं ना who try not to ever fall in love because they'll break their heart. But I mean, life is heartbreak, man. You know, there's just no other way to do it. These things.
But you know, like, why does it have to be a heartbreak? Like, why? Just because चार लोग अच्छे नहीं हैं and they can't be sincere? Like, you know, again, my question would be, I know life is not fair. I know ups and downs आने चाहिए and सारी चीज़ होनी चाहिए. But still, like, ठीक है, एक जो नेचुरली गॉड गिफ्टेड हो, ठीक है, फोर्स मेजोर हो गया, ठीक है, अर्थ को एक आ गया, बट अर्थ को एक आया इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि यार तुम लोगों का अगर घर ख़त्म हो गया है तो जो घर में बचा कुछ सामान है वो लेके भाग जाओ. एंड राइट, सो आई थिंक like I said that maybe I'm not an optimist, but
you sound like an optimist right now.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I think it depends on you. It stems from you. Like, you know, I'm kind of in a way sick of hearing कि यार ये है, यार लोग ऐसे करते हैं, लोग वैसे करते हैं. Yes, but what are your contributions?
Diffusion
like, why
of responsibility.
can't,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, stop blaming others for your problems. You cannot just like sit. अब वही वाली चीज़ है कि मैं पढ़ूँ नहीं और मैं आगे से बोल दूँ कि यार बस अल्लाह करे मैं पास हो जाऊँ. Like, no यार, ऐसे नहीं होता.
That happens, पता है. People will come on my live and they'll be like, काजी भाई आपकी लाइव देख रहा हूँ कल सुबह के 3 बजे, आपकी लाइव देख रहा हूँ कल सुबह पेपर है, दुआ करना. यार मुझे एंग्जाइटी क्यों दे रहे हो, ये तो गलत है.
I know, right? There you go.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, it's time that we start accepting our responsibilities. We start owning us. Like, I'm not saying कि हर चीज़ accept कर लो, ये भी सही करो, नहीं, एक चीज़ कर लो.
Yeah.
Pick one battle.
Sure.
But first, pick and choose your battles. A. B, the battle that you have chosen for yourself, go all in.
Go all in.
Right. I feel that ये जो ग्रे एरिया में हम रहते हैं ना सारी जिंदगी,
ये अजियत का बायस है.
ना यहाँ है ना यहाँ है.
हाँ, and you're in pain. It's not like you're not in pain.
Yeah,
you're
like
living and you're dying every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, grey area, I don't I think black and white is something that I would prefer.
You strive towards it.
ये नहीं है.
Yeah.
Right? अगर नहीं है तो work towards it.
Yeah.
अगर है तो great. What's next?
Yeah.
Like ये personal life, professional life, हर चीज़ में होता है ना कि मतलब a lot of people like operating in gray areas. I know personally a lot of people who do, and that's maybe fine by them. Works for them.
लोग हैं ये.
That's fine by them. But you know, like you should at least strive to pick that one battle that you want to win, and could be anything, right? And like हम बोलते तो हैं कि यार हमारे कंट्री में अब बहुत मसले हैं यार, like taxes बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं, इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ती चली जा रही है, सैलरी से वैसे नहीं बढ़ रही, राइट? सब चीज़ें हो रही हैं, क्राइम एंड ये एंड वो, all of it. But maybe if you start doing one thing, and that one thing could be कि मैं, you smoke for instance, you decide that I will try my best not to, you know, वो that cigarette का जो butt है, मैं वो कहीं बाहर नहीं फेंकूंगा.
Okay.
Put it either at a dustbin or at a place where I can trash it later on.
Okay.
Very simple.
Yeah.
और इन छोटी-छोटी चीज़ों से ना आपकी I think वो चीज़ें निकलती हैं. Like I you know, my mom says this one thing. She believes in chaos theory.
Okay.
तो वो chaos theory होती है ना कि different चीज़ें हो रही होती हैं, chaotic pattern होता है. If you join them together, you realize that it's a pattern.
It makes sense, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, आपको किसी को समझना, उसकी छोटी-छोटी जैसे like, you know, and that's what my mom says, कि ना बड़ी बड़ी बातों से कुछ नहीं होता बेटा. बड़े बड़े गिफ्ट्स ला के दे दोगे, 5,000 10,000 के जोड़े एंड ये एंड वो एंड लाइक 50-60,000 का परफ्यूम एंड घड़ियाँ एंड ऑल ऑफ इट, इनसे पता नहीं चलता. बट ये जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती हैं ना, छोटी छोटी, कि किस तरह से तुम लोग बात कर रहे हो, किसी को थैंक यू कह रहे हो, नहीं कह रहे हो, क्या चीज़ है, जब हम छोटे थे जब से हमसे बोलती आ रही हैं. And probably that has built into our system as well, all of our siblings, that we, you know, figure out on these smaller things कि बंदा किस तरह से बात कर रहा है. उसने इस बात पे, हमने कोई ऐसा काम किया था तो did anyone come and basically thanked us, or you know, like basically did something for us, or did we do something for them? Is it fair? और अगर कोई बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा कर रहा है, all of it, you take a step back and see कि यार this is an outburst. This is an outburst of something, कि ये कोई lid खुला है, काफ़ी देर से वो हो रहा था, या क्या हुआ है,
sure.
right? So
sure.
taking a step back. So I think as individuals, as society, we all need to take a step back and ask ourselves that question. Like, I think existential crisis के बारे में हम, I think podcast से पहले we were making fun and we were making jokes about it, but I think it's very important to ask yourself, what is your purpose in life? What do you want to do? And it could be anything.
It can be anything, yeah.
As long as, and it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I have to become the Jeff Bezos and like the, I don't know, XYZ of the industries, Elon Musk of the country and all. It doesn't have to be that. It could be very simple thing, very basic. But because in your own capacity, you're giving something back to the community. You are leaving your legacy behind, and that depends on you how you leave your legacy behind.
But it's difficult, ना यार समन, मतलब ये इतनी सारी जिम्मेदारी है. आप सोचो ज़रा, existential responsibility, आपका phone आ रहा है, oh miss call है. So the only concern there is this, कि when you're thinking about all this, na, it's just so much responsibility. You know, I obviously am appreciative of what you're saying, and yes, ideally all of us take responsibility and all of us understand ourselves to be responsible existential agents, right? कि ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी है, मैं at least अपना काम सही करूँ and all that stuff. But it's just so much easier to latch on to a leader, for instance, Imran Khan, मौलाना फजल रहमान, whoever else. ये मैं बस इनके खिलाफ कुछ नहीं बोलना, और ये जो भी कर रहे हैं वो सही है. Takes all the responsibility away from me. Yeah. You know, all the difficult work that I have to do, I don't have to do anymore. Imran Khan बोल रहा है ना, सही होगा. Instead of thinking about what's sahi and what's galat.
People also need you also need a leader, some sort of follower to follow. I get what you're saying and I agree. But you also need some sort of benchmarking in your life or somebody to look up to.
Sure.
Doesn't have to be, but you need somebody. So, but again, like you said, it's a thin line. It's a very fine line, you know, कि जब वो ब्लेम से रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शिफ्ट में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है ना, कि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शिफ्ट हो गई, मेरा काम तो नहीं है. लाइक यू नो, बीइंग, इफ़ यू फॉलो इमरान खान, यू शुड, यू नो, basically talk about the times that he was, wrong would be not the right word probably, but he was, and you were not comfortable with some of his idea. You don't agree with his idea.
Yes.
Right? You should be able to, speak up. And yes, leaving a legacy behind is not an easy job. But the first thing you need to ask, कि आप जब दुनिया से चले जाएंगे लोग आपको किस उसमें याद करेंगे, क्या आप किसी के लिए कोई ऐसी चीज़ कर जा रहे हैं, राइट? एंड बट अगेन इट डिपेंड्स, आई एम नॉट सेइंग मे बी या ये लगे कि ओ माय गॉड ये कौन सोचता है डेली लाइफ में, या मैं भी कोई एवरीडे बैठ के नहीं सोचती हूँ, राइट? कोई भी एवरीडे बैठ के नहीं सोचता है, बट या आई थिंक to keep exploring yourself, you need to keep asking, because you need to keep asking yourself this question. Like वो होता है ना कि आज से 10 साल पहले आपका एक एम था कि आपको ये करना है, अब वो कर लिया ना, सेटिस्फैक्शन वो वाली तो ख़त्म हो गई. What's next? So maybe just to motivate yourself, you need to have, instead of like मैं prime minister बनूंगा, right? That's my ultimate. ठीक है, but like make shorter goals,
make smaller goals,
like make targets and then achieve them, because then you feel accomplishment. तो कहते हैं ना, मैं कहीं पढ़ रही थी, पुरानी बात है काफ़ी, कि to be disciplined in your life, you need to do certain things. Like, जैसे आप जब सुबह उठें, just make sure that you make your bed. Because then you start feeling accomplished. मैंने ये चीज़ कर ली.
You create a state of flow.
Right, yes. Yeah. I remember about like 2 years ago, I was sitting with my regional team and they were like, you media network people, managers do a lot. Like, and उसके बाद भी जब day end होता है ना, तो feeling of accomplishment नहीं आती. क्यों? तो then that guy was like basically a regional head and he was like, and then I figured out, what I would suggest you guys is you make a list of 4 tasks daily. And then you make sure that you fulfill those 4 tasks.
Make a to-do list, yeah. Right.
But बड़ा cliched sound लगता है ये, कि यार कौन करेगा, मैं ये लिखूंगी, मैं ऐसे चीज़ होगा. But it actually works.
It's the feeling of accomplishment. ना जो आपने थोड़ी देर पहले अभी physical activity के बारे में बोला.
Yeah.
More than anything else, it's not to make you a like internationally renowned athlete, but just going into a physically demanding situation and then coming out of it the other side, doing something difficult physically, it has tremendous health but also mental benefits.
Yeah.
Right? I try to work out every day, not because I'm trying to compete, or it's just it really feels good. It's a very selfish thing. Alhamdulillah, it feels really, really good. आप जाते हैं, आप थोड़ा सा करते हैं, yeah, and then it's good. You're sorted, And then similarly, the to-do list is a brilliant way of anchoring yourself in your situation, whatever that is. Just make a to-do list.
Because you don't pick and choose a lot of things in your life. ठीक है? You do a lot of things, but वो कहते हैं ना कि so I remember मेरी एक पप्पू ने बड़े मज़े की बात की थी. उन्होंने कहा था, बेटा वक्त की जमा को याद रखना. वक्त की जमा औकात है, वक्त के प्लूरल को.
Okay.
Right? अपनी औकात को, यानी जो तुम हो.
वक्त की जमा औकात है.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
So उन्होंने बोला था कि वक्त की जमा को याद रखना, यानी अपनी औकात को, अपने आप को, कि कितनी भी बड़ी हो जाओ, कहीं भी चली जाओ, who you are, where you are from, your value system, इसको याद रखना. उन्होंने और एक और बड़ी बात बोली थी. उन्होंने कहा, देखो बेटा, ये ज़िंदगी ना, ये तुम्हारी किस्मत है. ये तुमने मुट्ठी बंद की, ये तुम्हारे हाथ में है, राइट? ये तुम अपनी लाइफ में डिसीजंस ले सकती हो, इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. बट देयर सर्टन थिंग्स, ये जो बच गया ना, ये तुम्हारे हाथ में नहीं है. दिस इज़ योर डेस्टिनी, दिस इज़ योर फेट, राइट? बट ये नहीं है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि तुम ये भी छोड़ दो. जितना कर सकती हो करो, राइट? इतना तो है ना, ये मुट्ठी बंद हो गई ना, ऑलमोस्ट लाइक इतनी हो गई ना मुट्ठी बंद, ये हो गई ना, राइट? तो आई थिंक
दिस इज योर पप्पू.
Yeah.
Puppu se puchna ye कि my palm is bigger than.
I'm not doing that.
Puppu, my palm is bigger than hers. Like more of my life is destiny. What is all this nonsense? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, that's what.
It's good. It's good advice. Sound advice. When did she give this to you? What age?
I don't know, like probably teenage.
Yeah. Imagine saying that to like a 5-year-old. देखें बात सुने. Yeah. Just ruining their childhood. That's ridiculous. But it's beautiful. But, it really is. And I think it's a good place to end the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. It was lovely talking to you.
It was a lot of fun, and thank you for coming on, inshallah. And just keep doing your wonderful work. Do you want So do you want to shout out your personal Instagram? Redbull, so I think people will be able to find Redbull.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, although my personal Instagram is my full name is Saman Maudood. My personal Instagram is S Maudood. People can usko bada confuse karte hain, although it's private, but I do let people in, right? Depending on they're not
creeps.
Yeah. So
yeah. That's that, and then Redbull they can find everywhere.
Yeah, Redbull Pakistan.
On Redbull. So Redbull Pakistan is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
So Redbull Pakistan is on Instagram. We're on Facebook. वो global page है जो कि geo targeted है. उसके अलावा हमारे global platforms हैं, but we do have access to it. So anyone can go and basically find content, but we are majorly on these two platforms. Plus we have redbull.com, which is अब ग्लोबल वेबसाइट का एक लोकल लेग है जिसमें हम सारी लोकल स्टोरीज अपलोड कर रहे होते हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट टूल विच रेडबुल हैज़ बिकॉज दैट गिव्स whoever gets featured gets visibility globally.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah,
and in the world of Redbull and in Pakistan as well. So yeah,
fantastic. Thank you, Saman.
Thank you,
Saman. Kazi Akbar. Any final words? You want final words?
I think thank you for having me and keep doing what you guys are doing. Like I have nothing to say, I think, or except
और यहाँ पे कोई guys भी नहीं है, पे सिर्फ मैं हूँ.
यहाँ पे that's
आप करते रहे बस.
करते रहे आप.
Yeah,
I think it's very easy to say, follow your passion and all, but how I would want to end it is on the note that pick and choose your battles.
Sure.
But once you have chosen your battle, go all in.
Go all in.
Do not stop midway or just say कि यार नहीं होगा and all. Just go all in.
Just go all in.
The feeling of accomplishment when you get there is something else. Try it out. You guys will thank me later.
Inshallah, you will thank her later at Saman Maudood on Instagram. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.